You've been doing this for 10 years now
Yes.
as a special advocate. Give us a sense of exactly what the mission is. What are you trying to accomplish?
So what we've been trying to accomplish the last 10 years is basically to make financial inclusion possible for people that actually didn't have access to financial services until now. So we've been working with countries from India, Pakistan, Tanzania, Ethiopia, South Africa, Brazil, Argentina to actually, make this issue a very important issue, and also work with global partners to see, what is actually hampering in the access to financial services. For example, the lack of actually having an ID, by which, because of KYC AML issues, you cannot really open an account. The fact that it's actually a little bit of a business issue to actually have, for example, a bank shop, very far away in the rural areas. So these issues have been actually talked about, and we've, thanks to technology, we've been able to really cater and really grow this tremendously. So we've grown now more than 1.2 billion people in the last 8 years in many, many countries that now do have access to financial services, thanks to technology, but also thanks to changes in regulations.
So as you say, there are a lot of developing countries where people are unbanked or underbanked, as I said, but it's not just developing countries. We have that right here in the United States as a practical matter. There are a lot of people who don't have proper access to financial services.
Yeah, here in the United States, around 5 million people do not have bank accounts. In the UK, more than 1 million people do not have bank accounts. And actually, there's also an underbanked as well. So they might actually have a bank account, but they still have to go to money lenders to actually make ends meet, to actually have sort of, bridge a little bit the cash flow situation. So it's not only an issue of just developing countries. Even in my country, the Netherlands, people have less access to, funds to start a firm. So access to capital for SMEs is also an issue. Financial health is an issue. Having financial literacy, understanding the responsibility you take when you actually take a credit is also very important. And being able to budget all your, cash flow to be able to make front to these responsibilities is also a very important issue.
You mentioned technology as part of the arsenal of weapons you have to combat this. Is it a leapfrogging thing? We saw that with telephony. We saw that with telephones, where you actually went to cell phones, never went through landlines. How can technology really help that work?
Well, it's the same leapfrogging. Basically, we've seen in countries like Myanmar, when it opened up, most of the people even saw a bank, but all of a sudden they had a phone. So a lot of people had a phone but didn't have a bank account. So they went immediately into having an account on your mobile phone. So they've never seen a bank branch in their lives, but they've been banking through the mobile phone. So today they can actually make payments all around, the country, and the way that they cash in or cash out is through mom and pop shops sometimes. It's not a bank branch or an ATM machine anymore. And that has been made possible through changes in regulations. And that is very exciting because I can actually get to much further rural areas and a much more affordable price, and even make a one ticket, like a $1 payment, even being affordable for the provider as well, which was not that before. So it's given us a host of new possibilities. Also to give credit and working capital. If you see that a little mom and pop shop or merchant is handling $20 a day, he will be easily going to get a credit of $100. So this type of things are being made possible through technology and has really exploded the way that we can actually do financial inclusion.
And you told us about how much progress has been made. Over 1 billion people have been helped this way. How much further do you have to go?
Well, there's not only on the amount of people we need to go further, so we still have 1.7 billion people to go, but also I think we need to pay a better attention on the quality of these services, because in the end of the day, these services are there to improve the lives of people, improve their cash flows, improve their, financial lives, and also make it possible for them to protect themselves against shocks, if somebody dies, a divorce, or, a flood, and also for them to better invest in their future. Is it a company? Is it a house, etc.? So we need to improve the quality of the services and improve the financial health of people. So for that, we really need to work together with the private sector a lot more, have much better insights in customer needs, and also have much better data. And that's something we're trying to do with a lot of partners around the world.
As you go around the world, where is the most resistance? Do you get resistance from governments? Is it from banks, for example, or financial institutions that exist now? Where do you get the resistance?
Well, I think that change is something that a lot of sectors will be resistant to. A central bank will not be very happy to immediately give a banking license to a mobile network operator. It needs to be develop trust and realize what are the risks and talk with the network operator. Can they actually take on this new job? The same thing for the banks. It's not easy for them to make a change and start looking at their business that is not anymore about banking branches, but actually working together with the telecom industry, and that means a completely different type of partnership. So, but we are seeing the change, and we are seeing some companies that have actually been leaders in this front and actually doing a lot of good and still actually being financially sustainable. So it's not only CSR. This is something that is good for them. It's not sort of something that is good to do, but it's also smart to do.